best of NoNeedz Freestyles, Volume 13. For Triskaidekaphobia. Hey, you know what's up. It's afraid of the number 13. And that's the volume we're on for all you teens. Friday the 13th is scary for that reason. It's 10 to the 13 light years. That's the height of this low density life form. I've been calling the PLF, you've been calling it a god, I call it a fraud. How odd. And it's been haunting everybody with all of its body of air, the autonomous living energy. But I'm the one who prevailed. I have no phobia of the 13. Why? Because in length, width, and height, I am the greatest. This life form will just be the latest. And Halloween is in the 10th month, the 31st day. Flip 31 around, you get 13, okay? That's why you were afraid. It's been spooking you out because you haven't figured out there were planets in heaven yet. So it's not real heavenly. And you bet it's in all of the operations, cause 13 hertz is supervision over them. And it's constantly waiting and directing with direct camcorder targeting. Supervising with a hands-on approach at 13 hertz, just to let you know that you must compete with your operations as well. It's very freaky, like Halloween or maybe even hell. Oh well, oh well. And what else is 13? Let me think. The 13th letter is M, which represents the matrix particle. So that's another reason why it plays pretend. Because at its middle is the place where it first began 98 billion years ago. So it pretends that it's really old and was the one who broke the mold. And it took 95 billion years to grow to 10 to the 13 light years in length, width, and height and size. Now it's here and everywhere it appears, but it's invisible to us, like it's crystal clear. But not logically. And that's why we have Triskaidekaphobia, the fear of 13, in all these different ways. And if you understood the trinary operator from my book about retentivity, then you would know it takes a lot of energy bits just to supervise the operations. Otherwise, we constantly be waiting on others to do the chores, which we already know how to do ourselves, of course. So we supervise and tell people what to do and how to operate right. But if we just knew this life form size and how it tries to mess up our operations and everything that we wanted to do every day, then we wouldn't be so afraid when it tries to spook us on Friday the 13th with that Halloween stuff. But moving on to other numbers, I guess we should start with the number 1. It means standard operations. Whatever you can do, like operate the body or eat some food or drink some water or punch some dude or who didn't have a clue. Which brings us to the next one, which is number 2. And I don't mean poo. I mean discourses and the selections of them and our choices on what to do. The very next thing that we can allocate energy on, such as having ideas, like thoughts but not really thinking, just the words themselves and the radiation processes Like whether we should continue blinking, or whether we should raise the right or left hand, or whether we should slap hands this way or that way, whether we should never again put on blackface and try to manipulate the African race. Who went second in the SMCP for 2 hertz? So I guess it's related to what I've been saying. Word up to that. What else can you do with the number 2? Like a catch-22. That's when you got 20 hertz, which is agreement, and 2 hertz in the discourses that you've been selected, that you would like to present. But a catch-22 is when you agree to do something, but it comes with a problem, which means others might not agree even though you did originally. Such as marrying a girl who already has a child. Later on, you probably want to have a divorce filed. Which is why it's a catch-22. Because the discourse that you chose, it was just that mind frame that you had when you agreed, but now your assets are froze. Because it turns out that there are more beautiful women that you would like to go with. So many people know this. So 2 hertz is tricky. In your mind, there's these suggestions and warnings that are always like, pick me, pick me. So I guess I just move on and pick 3. For 3 hertz, that's communication. We see it all the time. That's why we say, hear ye, hear ye, hear ye, 3 times. Because remember, the supervision of operations at 10 to the 13 light years by this PLF is going all the time. So that's why you got 2 eyes and 1 mouth, or 2 ears and 1 mouth. 3 for that constant communication of your lifestyle and what you're all about. What else can you say about 3? Well, 3 means there's a Big Bang pair. That's Earth and planets in a higher density environment. Then the lower density environment was created with a Big Bang explosion as well, with these energy particles. And the third would be in the middle of this life form, which is called the matrix particle, 500 billion light years away. And the other one is 10 to the 28 meters above. That's 1 trillion light years. 1/10 of this life form that nobody likes here. So you can grow old and have white hair, but eventually you're gonna die and end up there in the lower density environment. So 3 is sometimes used for that, whether we've communicated that there are planets in the afterlife to our kids. But who really knows this biz but I? NoNeedz, why would you even want to try? I'm Superfly, like 1972 or 73. Who really remembers? At 73, since the universe grows at 0.72 light years per year in radius, 73 means we missed that. And it's also 10 to the 13 in combination with 60 billion years, because 13 and 60 is 73, which is when we'll finally be free in 60 billion CE. And I've just communicated all these things to you ignorant peeps, so I guess we can move from 3 to 4. And what is there to say about 4 that you don't already know? Except that it's competition, as we would like to grow in different ways, which is fine. But first we need to get to the 4. And 44 is like 1.44, which is at 0.72 the radius to 0.72, and you get the diameter, dude. At 1.44, that's how many light years the universe grows in diameter each year. So now you know it's crystal clear. And at 4 hertz, I always win the competition with my intelligence and my competence. It's why I'm so good at standard intelligence with my numbers, the accuracy that can be agreed on by pretty much anyone with standard intelligence who knows how to think. And Spain goes 4th in the SMCP, or in this set, the Israeli set, which has 10 ethnicities. That's why Spain was called Spain, with pain in it, with 4 letters in the word pain, because it's going to be painful to them going 4th after the Chinese, which is already represented by 3 hertz at 3. So, now you know. That's why they like stabbing bulls with needles. It goes with the pain of Spain as they compete time and time again with the white race, who did not get to go, which is why Spain was conquered, and then they started spreading Christianity to other places like Latin America. But it doesn't matter, because their competition is over. The African race has won it. We discovered the planets in heaven, not Christians anyway, so I guess we're the ones who will always be gold. The stars, which is 79 signality for 17.991 billion years ago, when the stars first made helium. But enough of 4. We've done this competition before. That's why so many words have the number 4 in them, like before and foreman and you can't afford them. These jewels, they're worth a fortune. It's just competition. This life form uses vocality to reach into our minds with that 10 to the 13 light years supervision of operations, so that nothing's like weird and complicated. But moving on to 5 hertz, oh, the growth. And India goes 5th in the Israeli set, which is 1st. So, at first it was Jesus in Israel, and then it was black people in America, and then it'll be Chinese people in China, then of course Spanish people in Spain, and in India the real Indians. That's right. And the Arabs, those Islamists, the extremists, were not correct, alright? That's why they keep bombing us as we grow at 5 hertz with L growth, jealous of the planets in heaven that the Indians had already told, because it means the Indians will probably win that one. So now you know. They'll go down in history as seeing the big picture, while the Muslims who followed Muhammad, a warlord, will not profit from that prophet. That's why they keep dropping these bombs on us and hurting little kids. Their growth is weird as ish. So and so and so. They're not peaceful like Gandhi, kids. And 5 is also represented in numerality by 10 to the 5, which is if L, those particles of our soul, are 10 to the negative 18 meters cubed, and the energy bits which we consume are 10 to the 23, that's 100,000 times smaller. And though we can hold on to a quadrillion of them by volume, as far as size goes, we just take 10 to the 5 of those each second. That's why 5 represents 10 to the 5. That's why when you say give me 5, it's a lesson about our life and how we're spending energy right. Oh, and how many things do we use the word 5 for? Who knows? But 10 to the 54 is how many of those air particles are inside. And there's also the number 6, which is used for many things, actually. 6 hertz is for behavior, and the Arabs will go 6th. It'll be Iraq as tacit as subjects for direct camcorder targeting. After the Indians. And their behavior, why they go 6th, is like the Israelis and the Jewish people. Though they didn't begin writing too many years after that. When Moses was in the desert writing in Hebrew. It wasn't until 400 AD when the Arabs started picking up a pen and getting crazy. Many years after.
Got anything to say to
But
that? Answer me when I
that's why they behave in such crazy ways for their God. And why to us it seems odd. And why they have weird laws. It's because they must outperform with their behavior. So that way everybody can see the 6 hertz displayed. And number 7, it'll be the Latin Americans in Mexico, which is why I live in San Diego, so close. And why Mexican names have 7 units. It means formation, which is also why they're called Latin Americans, because the Italians will go 7th in the SMCP, the 7th set, the first being Israeli, with 10 ethnicities, as I said, to each. But that's the number 7. It means formation, like the expression on your faces when you're smiling, or when you're gesturing with a pose, as you model in very many different clothes. Oh, and going back to 6, with Satan, 666 is actually a number that you can use. 3 6s is how many energy bits that we consume. When we can't make a formation in 7 hertz, we just keep going 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 for behavior. So it connects that way. Multiply 16,666 by 6 and you get 100,000. Until you cap it with a 7. That's why they go together like that, and that's why Satan's number is 666, because of his behavior. Instead of trying to be a savior, he can't slow himself down and just let people see him holding on to the crown. Because he's not really a king, he's one of those people that just keeps on behaving and winning and out-cycling. But if he ever stops, then they'll get caught, and we'll trap him inside of a box. At 8, it's for PTA and emotions. At 9, it stops. And at 10, oh, 10, that's what we can do with our sentient activities, with our brains. And our brainstem is at 10 hertz because that's all of our range for movements and what we can do after we've thought at 9 hertz about what we want to be doing. So, and there are actually 10 energy bits in a production cycle of energy bits. Imagine that. empty space condenses, and since the downward pressing force is 10 times more powerful than the one that's below it, the upward resisting, it smashes the empty space and it produces energy bits, which is condensed space. And that's where we all come from. That's what we process with our souls. It's all around us. You should know. That's right. So it condenses it into 9 positive energy bits and 1 negative one. Which is why light travels so fast. It's urgently processing negative energy bits. And sound, it dissipates all around. Because there's so many positive energy bits for the sound particles to process that they just stop making sinusoidal waves in the process. It's not that complex to make a pun. In fact, it's really kind of dumb. And as you can tell, we have 10 fingers and 10 toes as well to produce things. Our feet can't really produce anything, but when we were animals, it used to produce movement. Now we walk on 2 legs because we're humans. But with our hands and our 10 fingers, we can make anything. We can sew, we can wipe our buttholes. We can slap someone in the face with both hands. We can cook eggs in a frying pan. We can do anything with our energy that we'd like. In fact, we can make light bulbs. We can make doors. We can embrace somebody, or we can make s'mores. We can do push-ups on the floor. So our 10 fingers for production of energy, or the production we can use with our energy, can help us to do many things. It's all signality. It's all from the vacuum of space, you see. And of course the number 11 is for judgment, because once you already know what you want to do, then you can judge it if you've already done it. That's why it's 11 hertz. And it just means that the letter K is 11th letter. That's why we say kill. It's a judgment of what we can do to end somebody's production with a duel or a feud. I suppose you can move on to the number 12, which is supervision in its most basic form. You don't actually know how to do it, you just watch over it. That way you don't really have to prove it. And this was given to the white race, members of them, because they weren't in the Israeli sect. It was all Jewish, with Jesus, who was Taz 1. And the rest would be half Jewish, half black, half Jewish, half Chinese, half or Asian, half Jewish, half European Latin with Spanish, and on and on and on, until the 21st Taz would be a half white race person at last. So until then, this life form is trying to help them to have a blast. But unfortunately, they couldn't figure out what life was with their books on evolution. And they couldn't figure out what gravity was with Newton. And of course, they couldn't figure out there were planets in heaven with Christianity. So what do you think they did? They started spreading it with these battle scenes, with these barbarians. So that way, in that form, they could carry it on. And they became Americans, moving the natives away and colonizing. That way they could call each thing whichever way they wanted. And this life form helped them to do that, building weird technology that nobody really tried to build, you see, without the proper mathematics to explain it, like what was electricity. It's from electrons, which I call complex negative particles, that process negative energy bits, you know. They couldn't say that because they didn't know about the production cycle, the 10 energy bits that get created by condensed space. So this life form's been helping them kill everyone anyway, simply because they didn't have a Taz. They didn't get to be the Christ, in fact. And that's why they have these educational systems that don't work. That's why I have a terminal master's degree but can't get paid, as they act like jerks. And with death they flirt. Ah. So what is an education really? If they're gonna lie about gravity, if they're gonna lie about what life is actually, what can you learn from people who know nothing but assault and battery? Okay, well, now you know there's not a hell. And the African race was the one who had to tell you this. Now you can develop it. The quinary studies for 10 to the 5 and not have fear of Triskaidekaphobia in each and every one of your lives. Oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well. So that's how it goes from 1 to 13. And now you best believe it's NoNeedz. Peace.